Hello.
Ashil. Morning, Ronnie. Evening, Ashil.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
see
how
your
are you?
screen.
Hey, Jack. Ashil, can you hear?
I can hear you.
Ashil can't seem to hear me. His volume is down. Jack, can you hear me?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, sorry, it was a bit weird there.
Can you see the screen as well?
Yeah, I can see you're putting up a screen on your computer. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, have you got it?
I didn't realize you were capturing that
Yep.
photo of me.
Oh, right. Yeah. When you were in the air, I snapped.
Hi MB. Hi MB.
Hey.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. You right, Shy?
Morning, Shan.
Hey. Good morning.
Great. Awesome. We got a bit of an international crowd. I don't know if
We
you
actually
guys
have
can
me
see.
and
These are
Dad
some
joining
pictures
here.
from summit of Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, they look awesome.
We got a joint folder where everyone's just sharing, but they are. It was something else. Just looking at this. Okay, so all right, guys, it's 7:01. We're going to get started, and I hope you can all see my screen. We're sharing a little screen today. So welcome. We've got a bit of an international crowd today. We've got some guys joining in from New Zealand while Ambi's there. That she's got to join, and today, just to create context for those of you guys that are new to the call, we have these Monday morning calls weekly at 7 a.m. And the reason we created these calls is sorry, do you mind muting yourself if you're not sharing? Please just mute yourself if you're not sharing. Yeah, okay, great. So just to create share why we have context of these calls is every Monday morning it's a default conditioning that we've had for years of going in on Monday mornings into work, and whether it's going to school or going to work, we have this oh my god, it's Mondays again, and this weekend, we're missing the weekend, we have this Monday morning blues. And we thought, why do people have that? Why do human beings have that? What if we could create something on Monday mornings to interrupt that? What if we could turn that around? And so we created this whole concept of Monday mornings for calls for us to check in with people. This is for people who are FITBANKER participants. These are for people who are not, people who have done some of our other programs, people who join us on track. So they're just open to anyone, right? So you can invite anyone. You can share the link for weekly 7 a.m. Monday morning to join this call, and we'll have either one of us in the team leading it. And we also do intend to have some guest speakers at times. So we may have somebody coming and talking on a particular topic. So that's why we create these, and just so that we can leave you all with a powerful Monday and week ahead. So today's topic, often we talk about various things from mindset coaching or a distinction or a tool that you can take and use and leverage inside of your world, inside of your week, inside of whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's relationships, whether it's finance, whether it's health. But one thing that's been coming up for me is random. I don't know if people are being more proactive for 2018 than they are for now, but I've had a group of people, and I've also invited them. I'm not sure if they're joining this call, but 2-3 different people, from people who've graduated, completed exams, school kids, to people who are, they've just recently had a kid and they want to get back in shape. And this is the dads, and they've been out of shape. And they've been messaging me on various platforms. I've been getting random requests, which is, hey, how do I get in shape? I want to get this thing, send me a workout. People have a view that it's got to do with the workout. Or other guys telling me, we're doing this, we're joining the gym today, what's the workout, or what do we eat? Or I'm doing this diet, I was sent the GM diet, what do you think of the General Motors diet? I don't know if you guys have heard of or seen the General Motors diet. It's a very 1980s thing, but it's something not really sustainable. And more so now that Christmas is coming, we have people that are going to be left with this experience. I hope you guys can see the screen where, and we'll all have this, we're going to go for a nice Christmas meal, catching up with family, which is really going to be great to get together with family. And for many of us, we're really looking forward to it. And for many of us, Christmas is a time where you just want to let go. You want to enjoy. You know that you can get in shape. You know you've got a regular routine or gym. But Christmas can be quite the opposite, or it can be quite a turning point in the wrong direction for many people, especially those of us that are what we call high achievers. So I'm going to talk briefly about what I call the achievers mindset. And what I mean by the achievers mindset is many of us by default have we're very driven to want something. And the human mind, the human identity by default in many ways is quite driven. So when, actually, I'm going to ask you guys on the call, any of you guys, when you're up to something and things don't go exactly as you want them to, what do you do when stuff doesn't go your way? I'd love to hear from any of you guys on the call. What happens when stuff doesn't go your way? Who'd like to share?
Cheyenne.
Hey, Shan, go for it.
When something doesn't go my way, I get really disempowered and make myself wrong. Like, oh, there's something wrong with me. That's where I go automatically.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So you make yourself wrong. All right. Tell me one more thing. Tell me what you've got planned for Christmas, what you're looking forward to for Christmas in terms of parties, dinners, so on.
In terms of parties and dinners?
Yeah, whatever you've got planned for this month.
Yeah. So Christmas time. So yeah, loads of dinners, meeting up with friends, and like winter wonderland, lots of mulled wine, mince pies with brandy sauce is the best.
Awesome.
And then Christmas Day, my dad lives up the road from me, so we're gonna have like a massive feast, like duck and seafood and the best food ever, like curry goat, which is a Caribbean dish, curry goat and rice and peas. And then New Year's, more food and celebration. So yeah, lots going on. Really fun season.
Got it. Okay, awesome. So who else on the call? Who else? We've got a few more join us. Who else on the call would like to share well, firstly, what are you looking forward to in terms of the festive season? Any lunches, dinners, parties, other outings? And secondly, what happens when things don't go your way? What do you do? I'm looking for us to look at and determine what's called the achiever's mindset. Who'd like to share, please unmute yourselves.
Hey, Ronnie, I can.
Hello, Ronnie. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
You what? Shall I go?
Yeah, Jack, go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, yeah. No, I'd say similarly to Shy, I probably do the same thing where I go into, oh God, like, it's why can't I get anything right? That kind of thing. Probably go into that sort of like beating yourself up kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's probably something.
Okay, what have you got planned for
regularly?
What's coming up?
Which I'm trying to stop doing because I know it doesn't benefit me in any way. In terms of Christmas, so we've got no, I've actually cut back on a lot of the plans over Christmas because I've got a lot of work to do. So I want to work on my business over Christmas. So I've actually really restricted like gatherings to like sort of Christmas and New Year's Eve, and there might be one more. But normally over Christmas we go and visit friends and family. We spend most of it away. But this time I didn't want to do that, mainly because I've seen nearly everyone throughout the year. So this is one of those years where I've actually seen everyone throughout the year, whereas typically I'm working so much I don't actually see them. But this year I've been working a lot and I've seen everyone, so it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel that need to go overly crazy over Christmas. I'm actually trying to keep it quite calm.
Got it. Okay.
So we've kind of like restricted it to 3
days, 3 outings.
So hopefully that should help with the food arrangements.
Awesome. All right. And there's nothing wrong, right? For many of us, this is our time to get together and meet up with people, family, and have that big meal or whatever it is that we may do or have for Christmas. Okay, great. Ambi, do you want to just quickly share for you what you got planned and what you do when things don't go your way?
Yeah, well, what I have planned is a big feast at a Shields place one of the days, and then lots of other get-togethers. And what I do when things don't go as planned is my instant reaction is I want to quit, throw in the towel, blame the whole world, make myself wrong. And when I do catch myself, then I can actually pick up the towel again and carry on. And that's a very conscious effort in order to do so. But the instant knee-jerk reflex reaction is quit.
Okay, quit. All right, that's awesome. Interesting that we're saying that, or we make ourselves wrong. So what you want to get is that is a trait of what I call a high achiever's mindset. So the human mind, by default, many of us that are achievers and traits of that is we're very driven, we push, we accomplish things. We may take on a certain level of education, we may take on some other sort of personal development, we may be always interested in bettering ourselves, an area of ourselves, or accomplishing stuff in our lives from, might be in our business or in terms of things at home or in terms of holidays and so on. And the achiever's mindset is like that. And what I've got on the right here is that we really want to get it right. And what I mean by that is we're doing an exam and we want to make sure we're getting an A, or we're getting a certain percentage, or we're cooking and we want to make sure that we get the cooking right, the recipe right, and the cake should come out, or the pudding, or whatever it is that we're baking must come out the right way. Or we're going for an art class, and whatever it is that we're painting or sketching or the colors together, we really want it to come out like we want it to come out, or to look like what we want it to look like, or the image in front of us. And so we focus on what I call getting it right, or we want success. And what I mean by or we want success is when we often don't get it right, what our mind does is we have this self-sabotage mechanism, which is we then, cut ourselves off if we don't perform to our expectation. And this happens very common. We see it on the FITBANKER challenge. On the FITBANKER challenge, we have some really, really well-accomplished people in this world. If you could just mute yourself if you've joined. We have some really well-accomplished people in this world who've really done a lot in their life. And they might be very high achievers. They might be CEOs. They might be doctors. They might be very senior engineers, whatever it is. So you find that they're very driven, accomplished in one area of life. They come on and take on, say, doing the FITBANKER challenge, and simply showing up to webinars or doing it a certain way. If 2 or 3 weeks into it, they feel they've not caught up on the webinars, or they've not been doing a particular habit that we recommend, maybe food tracking or something, and they don't do that right, immediately what they do is they totally off the program. So they kind of have an all or nothing approach. But what I mean by that is they really want to either get it right, and if they don't, they go off, they make themselves wrong, or they want success. And what I mean by success is not always getting it perfect. It's not getting the ideal answer. It's not getting the ideal husband, the ideal wife. it's not about getting the A stars always, right? So success is kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So if you picture the success kind of graph, it's not always a straight line from bottom left corner to the top right corner, right? So it's always staggered, a few steps up and down, like a stock graph of the where a share price moves upwards. That's really what success looks like. So there is an element of dipping back down. So over this festive period, I want you guys to consider that if things don't go your way, if you end up eating something or you have a couple of meals whereby you just have a lot of alcohol or a lot of food, or 3-4 days in a row and you miss going to the gym, or you miss going to your classes of, I don't know, yoga or going for a walk, it's very easy for the achiever's mindset to say, you know what, sod it. I think I've just messed up my December. I'm going to start in January. And so they're like, forget this. Let me just continue to trash myself for the rest of the month because I've already done it for about 3 days now. I'm going to continue to trash myself. So I want you guys to first distinguish that that's what we do as Achiever's Mindset. I want you to also take this on as something that you can contribute to and offer and share with somebody else out there to say, look out for when you do this, or now that I share this with you, look out for people in your family and your friends that begin to do this. They feel, forget it, I can't do this, I've put on extra weight, life is just to be enjoyed. Let's just eat this much and drink that and go overthink and oversleep, and it all becomes one of overindulgence. So the first step you want to get in success is that pursuit of the ideal. What gets in the way is that there's a massive amount of love and compassion missing for ourselves. So I saw this beautiful quote, which is, it's a lack of love for ourselves that inhibits our compassion toward others. And we know Christmas as a period of loving and giving, and you find that the same person there that's going to be making themselves wrong for trashing their health game, or for trashing their fitness, or for not showing up to the classes that they've signed up to, somebody that's making themselves wrong is not going to be able to be the real life of the party and contribution and empowering and really loving and sharing with others out there, right? You're going to be there slightly pissed off with yourself, and you're going to be there trying to put this smile towards others, won't be really authentic. And so it requires, first of all, a love and compassion for ourselves, and then we'll be able to give that towards friends and others. Then it says, if we make friends with ourselves, then there is no obstacle to opening our hearts and minds to others. It's a beautiful quote by what's the name? Something Tandon. Give yourself love, compassion, and room for error. So, all right. That said, let's have a look at what actually happens. What happens to us physically? Now that we know our mind does that, let's look at physically what happens to the body in terms of when we overeat, right? So let's have a look at this little video. I hope you guys can watch from your end of what actually happens inside our guts and the rest of our system when we do overeat.
Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, more turkey, cranberry sauce, gravy, even more turkey. Ugh. Still have room for pie? For now, unbutton your eating pants, flop on the couch, and let's learn why you feel so full after a big meal. Part of the reason is physical. Your stomach can stretch to a volume of about 1 liter. That's about the size of a burrito. When you eat a big meal, you fill your stomach to its limits, squeezing against your other organs and making your abdomen feel, well, full. Your stomach and intestines also fill with gases that you eat, adding to that swollen sensation. Each time you swallow, a bit of air goes along for the ride, even more if you're drinking soda or beer. Inside your stomach, the gas that makes your drink fizzy fills more space than the liquid it came in. Fortunately, your body has a good way of getting rid of the excess gas built up in your stomach. For some people, another uncomfortable result of a big meal is heartburn. The stomach produces hydrochloric acid to break down food. More food to break down means more acid, which can irritate the lining of the stomach and creep into the esophagus, leading to that burning feeling. Antacid tablets use bases, remember the opposite of an acid is a base, like calcium carbonate to neutralize the acid. That reaction produces more carbon dioxide, which can increase that full feeling, at least until your next burp. The other part of feeling full is mental. When you've had enough to eat, the body's messenger molecules, hormones, let the brain know it's time to stop. Bro, it's time to stop. When you eat a high-calorie meal, cells in your intestines secrete a hormone called peptide tyrosine, or PYY. Not PYT, that's a Michael Jackson song. When PYY reaches the brain, it binds with receptors that give you the feeling that you're full, maybe even a little queasy. Ugh. Some hormones react more strongly to meals heavy in fats, carbohydrates, or proteins, but they all serve the same purpose, to get you to put down that fork. So the next time your mom asks you if you want seconds, maybe take a minute to listen to what your body's trying to tell you. Or just keep stuffing your face. I don't care, really. But don't be surprised if you're not feeling so good after. One thing you can never get your fill of, cool chemistry videos.
Okay, cool. So I hope you guys got a chance to grasp what was being covered there. And what it is understanding what's actually happening in our body. When we do consume that much, you wonder why you doze, and your stomach has got liter capacity, but sometimes you can stuff it almost up to 4 times, and it pushes and squeezes against your liver, your intestine, your diaphragm, and when it pushes against your diaphragm, that pushes against your lungs, and guess what? We begin to take shorter breaths, and you wonder why then after a big meal we absolutely crash. It's because we then begin to take in less oxygen while there's this big load that's being trying to broken down. So you can have a look here. What 400 calories of different types of food really does occupy different amount of space in your stomach. And we got a set of hormones there called leptin and ghrelin inside of our stomach. Ghrelin is what tells us we're hungry, but it also is also released when we're thirsty. And so our brain confuses that. And leptin is the hormone which, when our stomach is full, sends a signal to say, we're done, we've had enough. So we've got to look out for on our holiday period when we know we're full, but the eyes want some more, right? So that's very different level of eating. That said, I thought I will leave you guys with some 10 tips that you guys can take on for a healthier festive period, healthier Christmas ahead. And let's go right in. So first of all, and those of you guys that have done our programs or have done challenge, you will know some of this stuff, but it's a great reminder and refresher to you. Those of you that haven't, this is just to give you a sense of our webinars are of this nature. And so one of the big things that's distinct about the FITBANKER challenge is we focus on the science of body types, and we focus on body composition rather than weight. You know, I could put on 2-3 kilos and be happy about it because I'd be putting on the right type of weight, which might be muscle, and I might be losing fat percentage. So we focus on body composition, but we also understand how to eat and train according to your body type. And this is something not used widely in the fitness industry. It's covered when you go and do a personal training course, but it's something where you find people that are by default ectomorphs or mesomorphs that are successful athletes. They can go on to advertise any type of food because their body type wouldn't just pile it on like mine. Mine's like the lady on the right here. I have an endomorph body type. So the wrong food types for me will have a detrimental effect on me right away. Ambika is somewhere between an ectomorph and a mesomorph. And what used to happen is we would go out, and you guys will have this at Christmas time. You're eating with what everyone else is eating. They're having seconds, and they look slim and they look fit, and they might be like Ambika, somewhere between an ectomorph and a mesomorph. And what happens is that they have a higher metabolism, and their body also doesn't retain much of the food in terms of storage, either as fat or as building of muscle. Whereas my body type, I would look at a pizza, I think, and it would give me half a kilo the following morning. So you want to still continue to eat according to your body type. Your food on offer or whatever's laid out on the table might be the same for all, but you're not. So stay true to understanding your body type and eating according to that. Next one is, what can we do between now and across the whole festive period, right through Christmas and into the new year? You could introduce and create, as you're together with family, smoothie starts, or you could do this for yourself. So you know you have a very big meal coming up for that day. And it might be a lunch that you're having from 12, and you know that lunch will actually go from 12 to say 5 p.m. why have a heavy full English breakfast somewhere because you're feeling festive and seasonal, and then on top of that go out for another 2,000 to 3,000 calorie meal? Our meal sizes in over the festive period could easily reach 3,000 calories in a meal, whereas the average male would be having somewhere between 1,400 and up to 2,000, right? The average female should be having somewhere between, say, 1,100 or 1,000 up to about 1,700. Again, this varies depending on your body type and on your weight and your goals and so on. But you know, it's very easy for us to take in 5,000 calories a day or 6,000 calories a day because we've simply not planned our day out. So a great thing to do is, if in your mornings you can create a smoothie start off with taking something that will be alkalizing in nature, that hydrates you, that might have some good proteins or some good fats in there, and doesn't have a lot of junk sugary stuff in it. If you do want some recipes, if you haven't seen them before, if you'd like, we've got like about 4 or 5 recipes that we just generally share publicly if anybody wants. If you would like them, just message us on our Facebook page and I'll be sure to get them across to you. You can have a look at the smoothies that we have. And that's a great way to start our days. So then the later meals that come on aren't piling on top of something of a poor start in the morning. Third one is you're on holiday, your mind might be on holiday, you might want to be taking a break away from work or from a busy year or reflecting on how the year went, but your organs aren't, right? Your everything internal, your heart to your arteries, to your blood vessels, to your lungs, to your liver, to your stomach, everything still needs to function. Everything still needs to be kept active. But it's very easy over the festive period where you can have 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row where you just pile out of bed in the morning and get ready, just about recovering from the night before, and you get ready to go straight for the next luncheon, and you have this other big meal, and then again you crash there and you go straight into some form of comatose, and you come back home and you're like dozing and you knock back out and you're ready for the next day like that, and would have very little activity. So what's key is to try to keep active. I think I have Simran on the call. I'm not sure if she's still on. She joined earlier, whereby we went yesterday in the snow. It was snowing here in London, and we created a game of going for a 10K trek, and we did. And despite the snow, it's very easy to be given by the circumstances and not go and cancel it. But we stayed true to it. So we went up for it. We put on our Mount Kilimanjaro gear, and we had an amazing walk. And she's like, "Why don't we create a game of walking every day for the 10 days through Christmas, and everyone has to walk for an hour a day or 5 kilometers or whatever it was." And she's like, "I'll come at 5 in the morning." Very, very brilliant idea, Simran. Don't know if we're gonna make it happen yet. She's still on the call, but that's an example of what you guys can do. If you know you're going somewhere, meeting family for a period, you can go and stay with them. You can go visit them. You might be out of town for certain days. Why not create a context of, hey guys, let's use the mornings. Every morning we should go for a walk, so that we're not wiping ourselves out over Christmas and then January doesn't feel like we've just returned to Earth from some other planet. So keep active, do a daily routine. Another one is we are budgeting for gifts. So we have loads of gifts to buy. I know I have this issue every year. I have one cousin, a couple cousins of mine, between them they have 8 kids now, 7 kids, and we have to get gifts for everyone, and then the parents and aunties and uncles and grands. And I'm like, all right, so it's a big thing, so we have to be mindful and responsible around what we're getting, and we love them and emotions are high, and we could easily overspend from a financial perspective. And for many of us, that might be okay. But consider that we also do this when it comes to food. Our mind is in that very generous mode. So it could be very generous with what it puts in its mouth. It could be very generous in terms of the alcohol or the food consumption. So if we're going to be budgeting for gifts, why aren't we tracking our intake too? So there's a number of apps that we use that you can use for food tracking. We use MyFitnessPal. If you're somebody that doesn't use that, I invite you to start using that. And it will really give you a wake-up call if you record one of your days of your big Christmas meals, and you'll be like, what, really, those biscuits and those meat pies or whatever it is that you're having, mincemeat pies, are that many calories, or that cake is that amount of calories, or this, 5 quality street chocolates are that many calories and macros and so on. So recording them will really get you connected to what it is we're consuming. All right, guys, we got about 5 slides. So I've got 10 points for you guys. And so we're going to be about another 4 more minutes, going slightly past 7:30. And then the next one is look out for, over this festive period, when you think you're hungry and yet you're actually thirsty. The thing about our body and how it sends a signal I was sharing earlier with leptin is our brain processes thirst the same way that it processes hunger. So if we're feeling thirsty, we often actually if feeling hungry, we often actually might just be thirsty. And all we need to do is drink some water, have a nice big glass of water, wait 10 minutes, see how you feel then. If you're still feeling hungry, you're probably hungry. Or you can ask yourself, or you may know for yourself that, look, you haven't had something for 3 hours or 4 hours, which is fine. But if you have, and you're still thinking you're hungry, you might be thirsty, have a glass of water and see how it feels then. Water as well over this period is really good for boosting our metabolism. Our bodies are anything from 50 to 50 or 55 up to 65 or even 70% water. And we really get to experience ourselves optimally when we stay fully hydrated. This was something as well we experienced on the mountain. We're getting people to practice as a build-up towards our climb. But this is also very relevant even now over the festive period. Why wipe ourselves out, and why retract in terms of our levels of fitness that we've gotten to? Next one is, why don't you guys be the health ambassador for your friends and families get-togethers? There are a lot of Christmas parties, games that get planned. Many are cards games, many are around the table, many are board games, and many, depending on where you are, weather-wise and location-wise, might be appropriate that it's indoors. But there's a beautiful thing that I've been seeing a friend of mine doing, friend Eric, and he's traveling right now, and I'm watching them on Snapchat, and they've got this amazing thing they've introduced whereby they play these card games, and whoever loses has to do the different levels of punishment. It's either 50 squats or it's 100. So they have to do either 50 squats from where they are, or they have to do 100. And previously, Ashil's on this call, and he will know a punishment back in our days when we played Jenga or card game was this additional gross shot of alcohol where we'll have some really sick liquors in it and all kinds of spice and nonsense and unhappy things in there, and you have to consume that if you lost the game. But now what we could do is it could be plank for 2 minutes, or it could be do 50 squats or whatever that may be. Or you could create, if you're in charge of the family, to say, hey guys, we're coming over, it's going to be very easy for us to slip in terms of our health and levels of activity. Why don't we create a game of every morning we go out, but every morning 9 a.m. everyone has to be out for a walk, and you create a little 5K or 6K routine or walk around the corner. So why not create that for every morning after, so you get to create a bit of a burning off what you consumed, or create it even in the evening. Go for evening walks, depending on which part of the world you are. If you can, after a meal, it's great to go for a walk before just rather going to sleep after a big meal. Or you could introduce HIIT workouts. Again, if you want any of those, we can send you some workouts. We could send you one that we share. If you're not the challenge, it's a 7-minute workout that you can do with people, and you can take them on with family and play some music and put on a timer and all do it together. It would be a great family workout. Next one, this is a really cheeky trick that I do when I know I'm going either for weddings. I do this when I'm going for weddings. I do this when I'm going for big feasts or a dinner or luncheon, is most of us are going for this very big meal. And like we're going to the gym, we have pre-workouts. I have what's called a pre-feast. What I mean by that is I know I'm going to get loads of food where I'm going. I know I'll be eating with my eyes. I know I'll be encouraged to eat what a lot of other people are eating and the amount and quantity that they're eating. So what I do is I have a really sort of cheeky snack, but a treaty snack before I go there. And it might be a protein bar I carry, or it might be a protein yogurt, or it might be a protein drink that I might pick up. On the move here in Boots now, they do these lovely upbeat shakes, or there's another one that they do called UFit, which has got nice 20-something grams of protein. So I try to get that in into me before I go and get the junk into me, especially if it's a day where I've had a good workout and my muscles are feeling it, or a Quest bar, right? There are multiple other Quest bars, energy bars that are low calorie, have good amount of protein, that have low sugar, and that are equally filling. So it's easy also to have the wrong types of bars, to have a very OT bar, a very high energy bar. I'm not saying to have high energy bars. I'm saying to have good snack bars that are lean and that have good amounts of protein. So fill the gap. If there is a gap, there's likely that you're going to fill it with junk. So instead of filling it with junk, we're saying fill it with something good, so that when you go and eat whatever you eat, you don't overconsume much of that. Again, if you want names of some of the bars, the names like Quest Bar, there is one called One Bar, there is Keto Slim, there is another one called Nutramino. Again, Nutramino make a range of them, and many of them could be quite sugary. You want to take the one which is called Nutramino Lean. There's a brand called Oh Yeah, that's really good. Or you can have some fruit. You can have a banana, you can have some nectarines, you could have strawberries, whatever it is that you could fill your space with before you add all the crap. And then if you must, and many of us will, having alcohol, you could drink smart. So you could go for the drinks, you could make the choices of alcohol that are low calorie, or you could space them out. So instead of being double parked, 2 bottles in one hand, you could have one, and then you could be walking around the party before you pick up your next one. Or you could be having a glass of water in between, or a non-alcoholic other drink in between, Coke Zero, or something that is low sugar, because you will be getting loads of calories in your drinks. So which drink is which? I'm sure you'd want this. You can screenshot this, so you can have this one as a conversation as well with friends and family. So which one is least in calories? The vodka soda is 64 calories, right? So that's for a single. If you have something like a beer, just a 250 milliliter bottle of beer, and some of us have larger bottles of beer, is 155 calories. You have the larger pint of beer, that could be up to 200 or 250 calories, right? And then you can have a lot of sugary sweet stuff like Baileys over Christmas, and depending on the quantity you have, that would also have a lot of sugar in it. You could have an espresso martini, which is 285 calories, almost 300 calories. And when you go for your walk the morning after, see how long it takes to burn 285 calories. Now, these are just for one glass of them, or one shot of them, or one bottle of them. And generally, we may have multiple. So it's very easy, as you can see, to have 5 beers somewhere. And what those 5 beers will do, if you had the large ones, or 5 pints, or 4 of them, that's easily 1,000 calories. So 800 to 1,000 calories. So knowing this, we can make those wiser choices and decisions. Bend it like Bikram. I've recently joined Bikram classes, but my point is, sign up in December. It's a great time while there's downtime in our schedules. There is free time. We can use it to sign up to something we want to learn. Might be piano classes, might be rowing classes, might be some indoor scuba, whatever it might be. I've signed up to Bikram, a 30-day program. I think it's a 21-day challenge, so I can go any unlimited amount. And it really is going to fill up my free time rather than putting junk habits in there. So take something on that will also set you up to be fit for the new year. Or sign up to something big in 2018. So this was me, Mount Kilimanjaro, but you could sign up to Tough Mudder or Marathon or whatever it is. So I know I'm doing Kilimanjaro in 2018. I want to be fit now. I want to keep fit from now till then. And that's what many others did. Like we have here, Simran and Jatin. These are 2 people that did it. And we've got Simran on the call, and her signing up. She signed up when she was 108 kilos. And by signing up to Kilimanjaro, from the moment she signed up to the time she went to summit, she was 94. So she lost 14 kilos inside of the window from sign up to going within a 5-month window or 4-month window. And it is truly life transforming, and you create this really empowering game. And when you get to there to finally do that summit, like Simran did, there she is, that rock star, it really is empowering. That was all worth getting in shape and staying in shape for. So sign up to something big, sign up to something that does scare you, sign up to something that is outside your comfort zone. All right, guys. That's all that I want to leave you with. Those 10 tips, do take them on. Any questions, comments? Okay.